Risky behavior.
And we are live. Yo, yo, yo. What's up? How y'all doing? Welcome to Risky Behavior as you come into the building. Man. Thumbs up the video, hit that like. Welcome to Risky Behavior. I'm your host, Mr. Diabolical himself. This is the podcast where we take a look at human behavior, the things that people do, the things people say, how they interact with each other. I cover things like relationships, true crime, stuff like that. Now, on this channel, I want to say this is that I don't call people good or bad, mostly because I feel like good and bad is subjective. What one person might say is good, another person might say is bad. Instead, I like to think of things as order and chaos because I feel like that's how the world operates, order and chaos. And how you behave, how you interact with people, the decisions you make, the people you invite in your life, the content that you consume, these things can either create order or chaos in your life. But like I said, this channel is risky behavior. So the risky behavior that I will be covering today will be number one, not co-parenting in a healthy way. Number two, parents not communicating properly with their children. And number three, which is taking accountability. Today's video that I will be reacting to will be from the what's the name of this podcast? Eight at the Table. Now this this particular video, this video discusses a situation where a 16-year-old, and I'm going to my notes. Because this video was very interesting to me and I thought it was important to discuss. Now, this video discusses a situation where a 16-year-old girl feels entitled to child support her father pays to her mother, which amounts to $1,900 a month. The girl expresses confusion over why her mother often denies her requests for things, claiming that the support money is not benefiting her directly, but is instead being used for her siblings as well. And in this situation, her siblings are not the biological children of her father. Okay, cool. Now, the key points that we're going to be looking at in this video is child support is meant for the child's overall care, not direct payment to the child. The daughter's frustration might stem from her father's influence and her mother's uses of the child support. Another point is the impact of blended families where multiple children with different fathers may complicate financial responsibilities. And another point we're going to cover is the challenges parents face in managing finances and the emotional toll on the children feeling unsupported. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this video.
Is for me to care for her, and she doesn't grasp paying. So shout out 97.9 the box. It says, my 16-year-old daughter feels entitled to my child support I get from her father. How would you handle this? I also think her father is putting things in her head. Either way, the money he sends is for me to care for her, and she doesn't grasp paying my bills, which also benefits her siblings, is part of this. And so I guess this is her like, hey, give me some advice, intro to the radio station. And this is the text that the daughter wrote to her mom. What?
This is funny.
Oh. My dad told me how much he pays you in child support, and he showed me. I just don't understand how my dad pays $1,900 in child support. When I ask for something, you say no. Also, you use the money my dad sends to take care of me to spend on Aaron and Jess, who I assume are her other siblings. And likely they don't share the same dad. That's just my assumption. When I ask for something, it's always a problem, and you threaten to take my phone away when I do anything you don't like. If it wasn't for me being here and my dad paying you, if it wasn't for me being here, she misses some words, and my dad paying, you couldn't afford to keep the house. I do love you, but I feel like you take advantage of having me here. I'd rather live with my dad, and I just want you to know for it to happen without making a big issue. I don't think it's right. I don't benefit from my dad's child support, yet you spend it. It appears that there's more to this, but I don't know what a response.
That's exactly, God forbid, that's how my daughter would be, though. I know how my daughter's coming.
Sounds like there's more going on in the house.
I don't know. I can't really say there got to be something more to the story. It just sounds like a spoiled child. Because
How's she
a
spoiled?
little bit, just a little. That sounds spoiled to me because I don't think that it is the child's place to get the money directly. Like child.
And I'm gonna play this one more time.
So shout out 97 on the box. It says, my 16-year-old daughter feels entitled to my child support I get from her father. How would you handle this? I also think her father is putting things in her head. Either way, the money he sends is for me to care for her, and she doesn't grasp paying my bills, which also benefits her siblings, is part of this. And so I guess this is her like, hey, give me some advice, intro to the radio.
Now, right there, you can tell there's most likely some miscommunication when it comes to the parents and how they co-parent and how they communicate with their child. And you can see the conflict even between the daughter and this mom. And this points to the whole thing when it comes to when it comes to this woman, she's getting child support from one father, but she has kids by another man or men, and it's complicated this financial situation because, and it's kind of something that you can't help, because if she's getting child support and she's paying the bills, that money can't, I mean, there's no way around it. That money is definitely going to benefit the other kids in that house, even though it's not the biological children.
Station. And this is the text that the daughter wrote to her mom. What?
This is funny.
Oh. My dad told me how much he pays you in child support, and he showed me. I just don't understand how my dad pays $1,900 in child support. When I ask for something, you say no. Also,
I don't know how I feel about that. The daughter is 16 years old, and it would appear that she's maybe feeling like the mom is not doing for her. She's not getting any of the money, or she's not being cared for like she wants to, or getting what she wants in the house. She's obviously going to her father and saying, hey, I need this, 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 and that. And it seems like a situation where maybe the father is telling the daughter, well, hey, look, I give your mom money. Go talk to your mom about it. And he's actually showing the daughter, hey, look, this is the money that I give your mom. She should be given to you. I wonder how most people would feel about that. Is that something that a father should do? For me personally, I think it would be better if the father, instead of just showing the daughter how much he gives the mom, because it's almost kind of, it does seem like kind of like a sabotage situation where you sabotage the mom. I think it would be better if he would get in contact with the other parent and say, hey, we need to sit down and talk to our daughter about our financial situation and explain to her our situation and what's going on. Don't just show your daughter the money that you give the mom, because without the proper explanation or sitting down and speaking responsibly, you're kind of painting this picture that the mom is just getting this money and just keeping it all for herself without context. I don't think that a teenager is going to fully grasp what's going on, and they're going to take it the wrong way. And so now you got this daughter that's texting her mom, hey, you're holding my money hostage.
so you use the money my dad sends to take care of me to spend on Aaron and Jess, who I assume are her other siblings. And likely they don't share the same dad. That's just my assumption. When I ask for something, it's always a problem, and you threaten to take my phone away when I do anything you don't like. If it wasn't for me being here and my dad paying you, if it wasn't for me being here, she missing some words, and my dad paying, you couldn't afford to keep the house. I do love you, but I feel like you take advantage of having me here. I'd rather live with my dad, and I just want you to know for it to happen without making a big issue. I don't think it's right. I don't benefit from my dad's child support, yet you spend it. It appears that there's more to this, but I don't know what the rest.
That's exactly, God forbid, that's how my daughter would be, though.
I think this is horrible. Essentially, you have a child living in the house with their mom, and this child is telling their mom that all I feel like is a paycheck to you. And I feel like that's the only reason that you have me here.
I know how my daughter's coming.
Sounds like there's more going on in the house.
I don't know. I can't really say there got to be something more to the story. It just sounds like a spoiled child. Because
How's she spoiled?
that sounds spoiled to me because I don't think that it is the child's place to get the money directly. Like, child support is not for the child. I mean, it's supposed to be to take care of the child, but it doesn't go directly to the child. It is for the parent to take care of the child. So if the money that is being given to the mother is to pay the house bills, is to make sure the child has groceries and has lunch or whatever for the week, like, that's what the mother has to do with the money.
What about the other thing?
It's not, well, and even if she decides to like give the child like allowance once a week with that money, then that's her prerogative as a parent. But it's not like, okay, yeah, daddy paid the child support, give me my half or give me whatever. Like, no child does that. That's not for you to do.
But there's other kids in the house that aren't
That are
her
benefiting,
sisters
yeah.
that are benefiting off of her portion of the
Well,
house.
I would think, because if the mom is going to the grocery store to make sure that everybody has lunch, like, if that comes out of the 1900 for everybody to benefit from the groceries that I put in the house, then that's just what it is.
Where are the other kids' fathers?
Am I taking the money that my baby father number one is giving me to only say, okay, let me make sure Leslie has lunch for the week, but I don't know, I'm gonna wait till baby daddy number two gives me money for the other two?
That's what you get. That's because God knows you're saying some off the wall outrageous shit and your ring fell out.
Yeah. How much you think that there? What did she get?
Like, no.
Are you done? I am done.
Let her cook.
No, I just want
What is she cooking?
I just
No, just seem like let her
figure it out. Go ahead.
Y'all seem like y'all all against me already, so go ahead. No, what y'all gotta say? I'm already done speaking.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Go ahead. Whoever.
Can I just say something? I don't know how it is in other states, but in the state of New Jersey, there's a class that you have to take when you putting someone on child support, where they explain that the money that you get from child support is supposed to be for the household. So it's supposed to be to pay the water, the electric, the house, the food, whatever it is that you need in order to support the household where the kid lives. So I don't know if this happens everywhere, but it should.
Interesting.
No, it should not.
We need to take a class?
No, well, the thing is, what she said was that the money is for the household. And that's where I draw the line when it comes to, bro, it's a hard stop.
Like, in my mind, that's all I'm
Yeah, like,
that's why.
I draw the line. Because, like, the thing is, I can't imagine, first of all, $1,900 a month is a lot of money. Like, that's one.
Good amount.
That's definitely.
I don't know how they got to that conclusion that that's how much he got to pay. Just saying.
Well, regardless, it's $1,900 a month or $1,900 that she's, asking for.
No, that she gets.
That she gets, right? Well, I'm saying the daughter's asking for it.
I think she's asking for the 1,900.
Certain things.
Yeah.
She's just saying, like,
And that's
And I think it also depends on where you stay. $1,900, depending, like, if you stayed in New York or you stayed in California, probably really not that much money, versus if you stayed somewhere that was cheaper.
why else you money, and like whenever I ask for something, it's a no.
And you can't tell that child no if that child is getting $2,000 roughly a month. If that child is bringing in $2,000 a month, do not tell that child you're going to take their phone away. Now, there's different ways that you can, because you're not paying for it. I don't care. It's like if I'm the dad,
Could the kids be the parents these days?
no, it's not that kids be the parents. It's just that at some point in time, you're not even a parent because you're not even doing the providing for that child. The child doesn't want to live with you, right? So clearly the child's being forced to live with you. Secondly, the child knows that you are not making money. You cannot keep up the bills in this house. My father is paying for the bills for you and 2 other niggas' kids. So where do you have the bargaining, or where do you have
Risk.
what happened?
I don't think that there's probably a conversation going on between the father and the daughter
Mhm.
because she's probably asking him for something and he's saying,
I'm
give
paying you $2,000 a month.
this much a month.
But that's fair
You
though.
should be able to get it.
And that's the thing. Like I'm a huge advocate for child support being spent the right way. It is to be like if I had to come up with a solution, it'll be okay, a portion of this rent is going to be taken a portion of this child support is going to be used to the rent, right? Or mortgage, whatever it may be. But when you say that I'm paying $1,900 a month, my daughter doesn't have clothes, or she doesn't even get to have, expenses, just leisure expenses,
16-year-olds.
yeah, every week, and then you're threatening her phone that you don't even pay for. And if you take away my daughter's phone, now you take away the ability for me to communicate with my child, and you're not even paying for it realistically. This is an issue that I have. So yeah, I do feel like out of that 1,900, the child should be getting, if you're not going to give it to the child right now, because you may think that or deem that they're too young or, foolish with money, put it in some type of account for them to where they can actually get something by the time they turn 18.
I just feel like where does the parenting come in? Because a child telling the mom saying like, you say no whenever I ask for something, a mother is allowed to say no. You ask for some bullshit, she can say no. Okay, there is no like, oh well, my daddy pays $1,900 a month for me, so I should be getting everything I ask for. It does like life does not work like that, and children should not even be allowed to say that. Like you're 16 years old. Like please don't come step to me like this. I really don't understand this situation and why there's even 2 sides to it.
I don't think that there should be a no without reason.
Sounds like they put the child in between
Right.
the whole.
Yeah, and it does and she
2 points I want to say. I definitely agree with what the other brother was saying. Like me, I pay child support. And that's always been a thought in my head, especially if you have a woman that's getting a good amount of child support, right? I always thought it was weird because I don't think child support has to be a bad thing, but he brought up a good point. I do think that by the time that child turns 18, out of all the child support that you get, I wonder what are the numbers, or how much do you think, or how many mothers do you think actually took some of that money? And like for my son, I know his mom did open him up a savings account, and she carves out a portion of the child support for him to put in a savings account. But I wonder how many people do that. Now I understand you have some mothers that are going to be in certain situations where they may be struggling and it's not feasible for them to put that money into a savings account. But I do think it is sad when you have these children and you have their mom getting these checks from the father, and at 18 years old, none of that money is available or left for them at all. But this thing is called child support. I mean, um, I just think that's crazy. I don't think that's right at all. I think some money should be carved and put aside. And I think the issue here is you have a child that's becoming an adult, at 16 years old. No, just because I said so isn't good enough. And I think these two parents need to come down and sit that child down and talk to them before the situation gets worse. You now have a situation where a daughter she's calling her mom out. She's prepared to go head up with her. My second point is for the woman with the blonde hair, something that I feel she's doing that is a little unfair. And I made sure that I made a note of it. And I said, in my notes, I put, we are quick to champion whenever a father is called out, but we don't do the same when a mother is called out. We give women more grace. I call it excuses. And I can't help, because when I thought about I don't know if this is a bad example, but I thought about like when like Dr. Umar getting called out by his daughter, or when the same thing happened to Mike Epps. If a father is called out, or we see something that a child wrote to a father, we go, oh, he must not been in that, he must have dropped the ball somewhere or something, you know. But when it's a mother, and it's clear this mother is getting child support um from this one man, but that child lives in the house and has siblings, it's clear that those parents have dropped the ball somewhere. I just feel like the lady with the blonde hair, she seems to be too much on the mother's side and stuff like that. She doesn't even seem to even wonder why this daughter could be acting this way, or feel like, I mean, she's it seems like she's kind of unwilling to accept that it may be a little bit unfair if you have to share your father's money with your other siblings, even though it may be something you can't avoid, because that money is going to indirectly help whoever lives under that household, you know. um it just seems like she's just totally dismissing it, and that's just weird to me, you know. Because granted, some of the benefits that the other people get in the household is unavoidable, right? Even if that woman was married, if she's getting child support from one of her children's father, and the stepdad lives under that roof, I mean, come on. If you go buy groceries with the child support money, you know that the new husband is going to be eating some of the food. And that's just something you can't avoid. But I don't understand why she's so dismissive of any other possible reason why this daughter is upset. It's just the daughter's spoiled, the mom's right, whatever, you know.
She even said, "I feel like the father is putting stuff in her head, because why is the dad even showing her how much he pays in child support?" Just
She's 16 years old.
she's six.
She's a fucking adult, damn near. 2 years should be an adult.
You're probably asking for money for, I don't know, your sports at school, or to go hang out on the weekend, clothes,
Maybe a car.
yeah, like money for anything. I feel like at 16, the expenses are not the same as when you're 6, you know? And so, I mean, when you have a 16-year-old, you do have to do these things for your kid, you know? Otherwise, they probably gonna go out stealing or something, or, find another way to get the money.
But that's a good point. The It's not the same. 6 and 16 is definitely not the same. So how do you know that the 1900 that was covering her when she was 16 years old, and she could get everything and not have to ask for anything, and shit is different now that she's 16, and now it's just like, all right, maybe I can't afford to get you that $900 shoes that all of your friends are sporting around with, or whatever the fuck a 16-year-old is gonna want.
So this is the point that I was making about being 6 and 16. My understanding is that in some states, as the child grows and the cost of care changes, everything is reevaluated. When cost of living adjustments happen, everything is reevaluated. Hell, if one of the parents lose their job, everything is reevaluated. Somebody starts to make a significant amount more in their salary, it's reevaluated. So I made the point about 6 versus 16 is that you have to understand, you have a 16-year-old. There's more stuff that they're going to need and more stuff that they're going to want. Like, let's say you were a 16-year-old cheerleader at your high school, or you want to go have tennis lessons, or you need tutoring. That's all the stuff that comes with that. You don't necessarily need that at 6.
And I just wanted to say, where I reside, it's every 2 to 3 years. If you're going through the actual like child support services, It might be like, I forget which one it is, but if you're going through the court system, it might be every 3 years you can go and get it adjusted. The mother can, or whoever is the primary parent could go to the court and get it adjusted. It's every 3 years. And like, but if you go through like child support services, it might be every 2 years. I forget which one is which, but it's every 2 to 3 years. They can just petition and say, hey, I want to petition for an increase. And that might be because they might, they might hear through the grapevine that you got a better paying job, or you might slip up and say something. They might know you got a promotion or more money, or like she said, if they lose their job or something, they have that right to go and get it adjusted. It's every 2 to 3 years, depending on if you go through the court or the actual child support services department.
So that's why I was saying the amount of money, is different. And I think that, like you said, her father, she's asking, hey, daddy, can I get whatever, I don't know, $70 for my such and such. And he's like, I just sent your mama 1,900. Like, why? It's crazy. He said, did you ask her? Yeah.
She said no.
What did she say? Tell me no.
Why?
So now the dad is like, damn, I'm paying $1,900, and I understand it's not going to always cover everything, but
that's the only point. Sometimes it don't cover everything. So if she don't got the $70, she don't got it. And honestly, it's a simple conversation between parents at that point. Did you ask your mom? She said no. Yo, hey, she needs to do this, and you said she couldn't. Like, what happened? And y'all talk about that. Y'all talk about how the expenses are being carried out about your child. That's it.
saying
Children, because she's spending the money on 2 other kids that ain't his fucking responsibility.
But it was not even
No.
specifically. That was happening.
No, it did
It
say.
doesn't say it, but it infers it.
She said that the food and all that goes to, you give the money to.
I'll read it. It says, also, you use the money my dad sends to take care of me to spend on Aaron and Jess.
Plain and simple. So like I'm saying, you decided to lay with multiple men and have kids with multiple men. Do not use one man's money to take care of your fuck ups. Point blank. So now when it gets to a point where you're telling my daughter no on the money that I set for my daughter because you spent it on your other kids, that is not right for my child. You're taking away from my child that I'm already working for and trying to provide while I'm outside of this home. It's an issue. And now you got my child asking me, why is mommy telling me no? Why does mommy not having money? And I don't understand why she don't got money, because she worked probably. And I know she's getting the $2,000 extra a month. This is wild.
Well, my thing is, do y'all expect your children not to ask the father for anything? Like, do you expect to go to the father's house and the father, their response to their child asking them for something is, oh, I gave your mom money for the month already?
No.
Like, is your child not supposed to ask you for nothing because you give the mother money?
That's not happening unless you're asking me all the time, and I'm trying to figure out where is the money going. So at this point,
that would be a problem if it happened.
But that's how this has happened.
We don't know, but it seems to infer that.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
I'm assuming. Like I don't like.
And this could be easy peasy. Like I said, if those 2 parents sit down with their child and talk about that, and the mother, I mean, if you get $1,900 a month, I mean, you could easily just set aside $200 for that child and say, hey, your father does send me child support. Of course, I use the other stuff to take care of, bills and stuff, and, sit down and have a conversation with them. But just set her aside $250 out of that money, for her, and explain that to her. I mean, at the age of 16, I would think that's reasonable. When you have teenagers, they're going to want to go out. They're going to want things. Even if you just take that $200, put it in the savings account or something for them, she could easily do that. And to the other lady's point, where she says, well, do you expect the father or the child not to ask the father for anything? Yes, the child can ask the father for things, but the thing is, he's paying child support, meaning the other parent is the primary parent, right? That's the house they're saying that she stays and that she lives. So honestly, the parent who the child lives with the most is probably going to most likely be the one with the child having to spend more money on the child. With that being said, any money that he has for his child, he's sending most of it outside of his household. So his daughter is not going to be able to ask him for too much, because it's like the money that I would have for you when you're at my house, this government is saying that you don't live here. So majority of that support that I have for you is being sent to your mom. So yeah, a lot of times a father may have to, hey, you're going to have to get it from your mom because I sent the money over there. And essentially what this lady is suggesting is that, you have a father, and people have to take accountability when they have children that don't stay together. But let's be honest, when you're a father, you're paying child support. People don't think about the fact that you're taking care of two households, right? Because you want a bedroom for your child at your house. So you're sending the mother money. So essentially what you're doing as a father is you're buying 2-bedroom sets, right? You're buying double the clothes. Right, because you want the kid to have clothes when they're at your house. You want them to have their own bedroom. You want to have, so you're supplying both homes, because whatever the mother is required to have at her house for the majority time that the child is there, because they're the primary, even though the father might even just have the child on the weekend, he still has to have, well, most fathers are going to want that child to still have those same things at his house. And so, yeah, that leaves the father in a position where you're going to have months or times where you're tapped out, where it's like, come on, I'm sending majority of the money that I have for my child is being sent to the mom. So yeah, there's going to be a limit where if the child comes to me, hey, I ain't got it, I sent it to your mom, you're going to have to ask her.
When parents tell kids no just to say no. Like, there's a difference between saying no because I don't want you to be spoiled. There's a difference between saying no because right now I'm not financially able. But some parents just say no to enforce authority is not a healthy parenting skill. And I think that's what ends up happening.
He doesn't teach the kid anything.
It just makes the kid an asshole, and then resentment towards you. I mean, to be honest, I don't know about that mom, but for me, I would feel like it would bother me if my child told me that they didn't want to live with me anymore. And I think that screams a lot of other issues that are happening between that child and that mom. I'm not saying who's right and who's wrong, but there's something that is consistently happening for this child to say, I don't want to live here. And then now we're seeing the results.
So just to play devil's advocate, she is 16. She probably got too much dip on her chip. She feeling herself a little bit, and let's be honest, she's a 16-year-old girl. She's damn near grown.
And her dad got money. He paid $2,000 a month.
And so
But she's also seeing, I'm sorry to cut you off. She's also seeing that if she is 16, she's also smart enough to know that you're getting money from two kids too.
Yeah.
And she's probably doing the math, and she's saying this shit don't add up. Yeah. Maybe she's not being disrespectful. Maybe she's fed up, and maybe she has plans for her life outside of this house. And the only way that's going to happen if she goes.
So I don't disagree with that. I actually, my response to my line sisters was that, shit, if she want to go live with her daddy, let her. You know what I mean? Because, and it seems like if she moves out, there's going to be an issue. And that's when
$1,900.
Yeah, and then she won't be able to afford rent.
Money thing, the reason why
she said it. The only reason why you can afford it, the only reason why you have this house is because my dad is paying you.
So that's probably
so that's what, like, the thing is, and I think, my bad. Go ahead.
I just want to finish this point. So I'm just thinking, just to play devil's advocate, she is she's a teenager.
And that was something very rude to say.
The mother and a daughter is gonna be beef. Mm-hmm. In a lot of cases, it's gonna be some kind of beef because it's only one queen of the castle. It don't matter about child support. It don't matter about none of that. It's one queen of the castle. And when you start to hit them higher teenage years, you start feeling yourself. Yeah, it's gonna be a clash. So.
And another thing I want to point out too, when they're talking about child support and the mom has to use these things for bills and stuff like that, and I understand completely, but I think another thing we have to be honest about too is that if you're an adult, you're going to have to you're gonna have to live somewhere, right? So either it whether you had a child or not, you still would have to pay for rent or mortgage or whatever, right? And I understand maybe your water bill is a little higher, maybe your electric bill is higher. You might have to of course you got to buy extra food. Um, but let's be honest, for one kid, it's not that much, And me myself, I got 4 kids, so I know how much kids cost, And so for one kid, I get it. I think the daughter got a point. It seems disrespectful, it seems rude, it seems mean, but she got a point. The only reason that I'm not I think what's really bothering her is that the only reason she doesn't have um more of her child support money left over for her and she's not really able to take advantage of a father who's paying that amount of child support is because her mom has extra kids in a house, right? You know, and indirectly her siblings are benefit from it, and it's an unfair position to be in. It really is. Because if her mom would have just had her by herself and was getting $1,900 a month, maybe she only needed a 2-bedroom apartment, and it'd be plenty of money left over for her out of that child support. It's just I just think it's unfair and it's jacked up, I- but we don't have a lot of information from this. The mom, it doesn't even like the mom bothered to say if she was getting child support from the other fathers and to fully explain this situation. Yeah, which I thought I would think if she was, she would have included it. And so for her to send this, even the fact that she sent this into this show to get their opinion, but didn't include enough information, lets me know she's the type of person that's definitely not sitting down and having those tough conversations with her own kid.
Well, again, just to sort of give the mom some grace, like she probably dealing with just other stuff with her teenage daughter. So I just think we should keep that in mind, even though I still agree that the kid should be getting some money, even if the mom is giving her like, I don't know, $100 a week or $150 a week, and even if she gotta, do chores for it. As long as, because one, the chores is gonna help her just to be an adult and to be like a functional human, but she's still gonna be able to get the money and she sees where it's coming from.
The thing that we also gotta like remember is that 16 is damn near an adult legally. Legally, 16 is damn near an adult. In 2 more years, you are a legal adult. Whether or not you can drink, you have the capacity to understand and make proper decisions, right? To some extent. Now,
Maybe not the capacity, but
well, legally, that's what the law sees you as.
adult.
So, like, the thing is,
See who they was feeling themselves at 16.
but at 16, I mean,
A senior in high school, boom.
at 16,
Mhm.
god damn, I was senior in the street.
So you must have.
No, but
I know.
but the problem is,
You, him,
but at 16, you got to also think. I think this is when kids start to realize who their parent really is and what they really are.
Damn, that's
So if I realize that my dad is doing whatever he's doing and he's doing that's keeping the lights on here, and without me being here, these lights in this house no longer exist, that goes to show just by mathematics, common sense, you're not making any money because $2,000 a month.
she not making enough for a house of four.
Yeah, well, she's not making enough for a quarter of the household because there's not much more you need with $2,000 a month. You know what I'm saying?
well, we don't even know. No, to be honest, that statement was just so not loaded at all. The like, oh, if it wasn't for me being here and my father paying you, you wouldn't be able to afford. Like, is that something you're just saying to be rude, or is there any truth to that?
Either she knows
No, I don't think kids are dumb. Kids can see things. They know things, man. Come on. Like she would easily she would know that. Kids recognize when their parents are struggling. Parents try to hide it, but kids know. And at 16 years old, she probably notices that. It seems like she don't really have it seems like she doesn't have any respect for her mom at this point. There's no telling what she's overheard, but I don't that's a very like that's deep what she said. I don't think she said that for no reason. And I don't think she said that just to be rude at all. But anywho, I did write a note about that and I labeled it disrespectful teen because I heard them use the word rude and disrespectful. So um here's my thoughts on it I came up with. As teenagers grow into young adults, it's natural for them to begin questioning their parents. This behavior isn't necessarily a sign of disrespect, rather, it's part of their development as they form their own perspectives and beliefs. During this time, teenagers are learning to think critically and assert their independence. It's important for parents to understand and embrace this process, responding with patience and openness. Encouraging healthy discussions and respecting their growing autonomy helps strengthen the parent teen relationship. By acknowledging their need to explore and question, parents can guide their teenagers in navigating this pivotal stage with confidence and mutual respect.
Is this the truth or this what her dad?
Because
No,
to
she
be
knows
honest,
it's the
the
truth.
text is just so disrespectful to me.
I
Like
didn't even see the disrespect.
I saw the truth, and I think parents can't handle the truth when a kid tells them it, and that's the reality. When a kid starts telling you about yourself, it's disrespectful. No, you need to step your shit up and be a better parent. No, you need to step your shit up and be a better role model. That's just what it is. It's not disrespect. It's called reality. And the only one that probably knows you just as much as the person that slept with you is your child. And your child's been with you for 16 years and watched you not do much and watch you not be much. And now your child is coming at you because you are not somebody that they look up to, they look eye to eye on. And that's why they're talking to them like that. They're not talking to her. She's not talking to her like that because she respects her. It's hard to have respect for somebody you watch doing nothing. It's hard to have respect when you watch somebody failing, or hard to watch some have respect for watching somebody take advantage of your other parent. And then you want them to sit here and look at you as if you are a queen of the castle and you ain't nothing but another pawn.
I mean, you are the queen of the castle, your house.
Yeah, I mean, barely, because when she step out and go, that house is gone. Like, and at 16, she probably can make that legal choice to say, I don't want to live here no more.
She absolutely can. And personally, I do believe that if she feels that, because of whatever rift she may have with her mom, and even just outside of the child support thing, if she feels like she'll be in a better position at her dad's, I think she should go.
And the grass ain't green on the other side.
Honestly, if I was the mother reading that text, I would have said, then go.
No.
No.
But the mom said, my
There has to be a reason why she's not with the dad.
Goes to her.
The dad probably don't want her in his house.
No.
Because
Nah,
at 13,
I-
at 13,
That
you
would
can actually
be-
go to the court and speak and say, I no longer want to live with my mom. I want to live with my dad.
And yeah, but even
I hate when people say silly things like that. Oh, the dad probably don't want her at the house. Like that's just a dumb comment people say. But I do agree that the grass is not always greener on the other side. There's more things that come with being a parent. Than money, right? The father is sending $1,900 a month to the house. But the thing you have to think about is, will she flourish at her father's house? The father might be a very hard worker, a great provider, but who's better when it comes to schooling and homework and preparing the child for college? You see what I'm saying? So there's so many other aspects to being a parent. It doesn't mean that necessarily. Who says that the father can do it? It depends on work schedules. Also, there's so many other things that go along with that, as far as saying, well, should the child go to the other parent house? We don't know their work schedules. We don't know who's better when it comes to the educating of the child and preparing them for the future educationally. Um, I don't think the mother should tell a child to just go. I think that's a immature response. You still have to maintain your position as the parent and as the adult. I think she should lean in closer to her daughter, and I think she should sit down with her and have a real conversation. And I hope that the mother and the father come together. It kind of seems like that mother and father um has caused this. And I don't think that they're co-parenting and working together very well at all. I think all this could be solved with a simple it could have all been solved with a simple conversation and just talking and communicating. And I've had to do this before, with my child's mom, and it's just a conversation. You just talk to them and explain what's going on. That's it. Ain't a big deal. It's just that some parents refuse to do it, and then you have situations like this.
And when the child gets to move in with the dad, right? Then there's no child support needed to be paid. You think you still seeing $1,900 a month, little girl?
No, but I guarantee she'll be getting a lot
A
more.
house.
Yeah.
It goes to the household. Right. So he doesn't have to pay the mother. She's no longer living with the mother.
Hell, at this point, the mama, well, she'll making the money. I say the mama have to pay her. I mean, pay the dad, but we don't know what she makes.
And my thing,
But the young lady didn't say she wanted the $1,900. She just wondering why she gets told no so often. Because here's another thing that I've seen play out too. Sometimes, like, and I know I'm just talking to different friends of mine, and this is an issue, right? Where and this is not to bash the mom or anything like that, but sometimes, like, I've heard other men express, and I've gone through this myself, where you're sending all of this child support, and it's like, dang, I send all this child support. How come my child don't never have no new shoes or new clothes on? Every time I get them, I gotta go buy them shoes. I gotta go buy them clothes, and it's just draining you. And it makes a person wonder, like, what are you doing with all this child support money I'm sending you? I'm sending you this child support money. It's for child support. You should, you know, you should be able to buy this child other things, with that money. So I don't even think the daughter even wants the whole $1,900. And she probably would, the father's pocketing the $1,900, keeping it in his household. I'm pretty sure he would be able to spend that money on the daughter, but I think she's being unreasonable, saying like she don't want the whole $1,900.
is at the reality of the situation is that we can't sit here and try to castrate. How was that word? Castrate, like
Just
Cash-
use the regular.
whatever. We can't sit here and throw shots at the daughter, right?
SAT words.
Nah,
I don't know
like,
what word he's trying
because
to
the
say.
thing is, it's like I don't understand why people don't like being checked. I don't like that. Sometimes you're bugging. I don't care if you're the mom, dad, son, whoever you are. Sometimes you're bugging, and you need to be better. And
Sometimes you need to know how to talk to your motherfucking parents.
but that doesn't happen overnight. Like, this situation don't happen overnight. The mom is over. First of all, the
You
mom.
should know how to fucking talk to me.
No, that's not what he's
Yeah.
saying. I think what he's saying is that, like, there's a buildup to why, she's feeling this way, such that she's so fed up. She's coming to her mom like this.
Mhm.
And personally, I don't feel she was disrespectful for a 16-year-old, but I can see why somebody would say that. At the end of the day, she's a fucking kid. There's a lot that she doesn't know how to express. She
Yeah.
not likely. That's some shit I would have said at 16.
They need mediation.
I know better now, as I've gotten older. But as a 16-year-old, I'm assuming she probably did the best that she could in being respectful, and also, like, showing her mother, like, yo, this is a problem.
The mom said, "My daughter feels entitled to my child support."
Wait, let's look at the words. Hold on.
Like
I thought the daughter sent the text.
no.
No, so the first thing I read was like
Mom.
the mom explaining like,
Okay.
hey, this is the issue, which y'all think. It says my 16-year-old daughter feels entitled to my child support.
Well,
Blank.
how's that
blank.
child support?
How do you think the child support is yours?
The money
The support is for the child.
to care for her child.
So then she should have said my support, not my child support.
Or the support.
No, yeah, it's the support, but she's using it as my support.
And she said that specifically to differentiate the fact that the money goes to her and is supposed to go to her, not the child.
No, but
No, but
you're not understanding what we're saying.
So essentially, that why she used the my and not the. I do understand.
no, I think this is how you have to look at it. Think of like someone being a custodian of something. That $1,900, the mother is the custodian of that money, and she has to use it in a manner such that the child that the money is for is taken care of. Yes, $300 from this 19.
But right there, you incorrect because she don't have to use that. Ain't nobody policing her. She can use it however she want to. That's where the confusion come from. It is technically her child support. It's the support that she gets for having a child with this guy and them not being together and the child living with her. And he has to send money to her because your cost of living does go up when you have a child and she can use it however she wants to. But I think everybody would agree that being responsible with it means sitting down and explaining that to the child and you and the other person working together so that child knows and there is no confusion, especially when they become a teenager. They start to question things. And you would hope that somebody would at least take some of that support and maybe put that money in savings, maybe pay that child an allowance. But it kind of is her support. So that I disagree with. I don't think she has to do anything because nobody's policing her. It's just to whatever she needs and household bills. Now, if you see that she's not taking care of her household and her kids just walking around looking like bums, she got brand new car, jewelry, and bags all the time. I will understand that, but most of this I think is just simple miscommunication and those two parents not working together. To be honest, is what it seems like.
$1,500 for this kid may go to the groceries or it may go to the gas or it may go, whatever. But all of that money is, it's for the care of that child, not the rest of her kids. And it's gonna equal out eventually, because if you get money from the first kid, the second and the third, child support from their fathers, then all of that should be put together and it's equally distributed for like bills and this kid needs that. So their father made sure that money was sent so that they can go on their field trip, so that they can, have their football practice or be in a chess club or whatever, It's really unfair if that $1,900 is being spread across 3 kids, because that is for that one child.
Well, you don't really know if the 1,900 is being spread across 3 kids, because
That's what she said.
no, but the kids have another father. We're all assuming, and do we not know if they're getting child support?
That's where she got to the point of being fed up, because she is taking
The hit.
her money and she's spreading it towards the household with the other kids. So just for shits and
I show you the words.
let's just say that the other 2 fathers were giving $500. So now it's $2,900 in the household, right? The mother probably works. It's a lot of money
I
coming
got
into
it.
the household. We'll just say she works. Just
She
for
probably worked.
even if it's part-time.
Their kid is less than what she.
That's why I said 500. So it's 2,900, and that's just outside income, outside of her part-time job or whatever she's doing. 2,900. That's enough money for 3 kids to eat for a month, right?
Right.
To eat for a month.
More than that, but go ahead.
No thing. So eat for a month is cool. It's enough for water for a month for 4 people. It's enough for gas for a month for 4 people. So where's the rest of the money going to? Plus her money. That's my question.
I think sometimes
Probably the 16-year-old's question too. Like, I'm just asking you for.
Okay, so
Yeah,
my question is, my question is, hold on, because I just want to respond to something he says just now. My question is, okay, when the money goes to the rent, the light bill, the whatever bill, and everybody's fed for the week, whatever money is left over, should we say, oh, okay, there's $500 left, let me give it to my child?
Yeah, distribute it across the
If
week.
they need something, if they need some for school, if they need some for the extracurricular, if they're failing a class and they need tutoring, if they
No, of course, because that still goes
that's not the house.
no, that still goes into taking care of the child, which is child support. But I mean giving them the like money, liquid cash. No.
If she's asking for something crazy, then no, don't give it to her. But if she's asking for like, I just want to go to movies with my friend.
Of course, if a parent still has money available for their child, they're gonna do for their child.
That's not always the. I think that
There a point. No, hold on.
point that the kid is making, she's like, every time I ask for something, it's a no.
And that's why she
I'm sorry. It's
This the part where I gotta keep it real because I understand exactly what they're saying, but this is why it's important to not create broken homes. Because this is just an unfortunate situation and consequence of it. If you know, just for the man, right? Say you have a child, even in his scenario, right? Where he says, well, she's getting 1,900 from one of the children, but she has other kids, and let's just say those other two kids, each of their fathers, there's $500 per month for each of those kids. Here's the thing. If one of those kids needs braces, you think that she gonna not pull from that money? You think if something happened and she need to pay her rent, she ain't gonna pull from that money? It's unfair, but I think it's unrealistic to think that. That's why I said the only way that she could do that is as soon as she gets that money each month, she just puts $200 in the bank account for that daughter. But if that's not happening and that's not going on, all she's doing is spending money for what she needs, whatever she want, out of whatever bank account that money go into. And that's just an unfortunate and sad thing, and it's jacked up, but it is what it is. That's just how it's going to be. Ain't nobody policing her, you know. It's not.
very hard for me to
And
believe.
I'm gonna touch on that at the end when I give my conclusion. And I got a message for the man and for the women, so for the father and for the mother.
Because I don't want to stretch the facts. It's very hard for me to believe that she's asking for something outrageous every single time.
Yeah.
Oh, I want a new pair of Jordans every month. That's kind of outrageous.
No, it's not. It's only $100. If she's a small size too, you might even get away with $75.
So the point I'm trying to make is that it seems that she's telling the daughter no a lot, and we have to assume that the daughter's not
Probably just said no twice in a row and she's dragging it.
I think that we're getting
I
to.
know kids, bro. I'm just saying, like,
everybody here was a kid.
I know,
I'd
but
say,
it's just
yeah.
like
Kids be lying.
And
stress and shit. Like, she's a 16-year-old girl. Like, this shit sounds dragging.
If there was something else the mom had to say about it, like I pay the bills and I pay the this and I do this to this to this and that, and she asked for something crazy, I think that would have been in there.
yeah,
She has to she wants to justify why she's saying no so much, or why she has the position that she has with her child.
or if she was in like private school and part of that money goes to the tuition. But clearly the mother, just by, and maybe I could be wrong because I'm judging it by the verbiage that she chose to use in these messages, I can automatically sense that some of the money that she's getting, she's using for herself. And I think a lot of times I would love to have a survey and see how many parents who have excess child support money, right, at the end of the month, that are utilizing it to set that kid up for some type of financial like leverage as they grow. A lot of times they just say, okay, I got $500 extra. They just start spending it. They don't even know. They may go to Cheesecake Factory with 4 kids, and now that bill is $200, right? But $200 came from that extra money that should have been invested into the child. I don't think a lot.
Are you mad that she took the 4 kids to Cheesecake Factory?
On my-
I'm mad that you
yes.
on my tab. Yeah, like I'm mad that you're taking the money off.
Sorry.
You can't.
Wait, hold on, bad. Y'all child support kids. I think we need to establish that first.
So, I'm not. Well,
I'm definitely a child support
we
kid.
didn't get it, but it was supposed to be given.
I'm good.
Are you a child support kid?
I'm doing it. I'm
Are
sorry.
you a child support kid?
Right.
Okay, so
I mean, y'all know I would.
I'm going to speak from someone whose parent actually paid child support. So if there's money left over, and I love my brother, y'all know that. But if my mama's telling me no for something, and I know there's money left over, and it's going to something that's not for me, I'm gonna have a problem with that. And most likely, if I just go ask my dad, he'll just give it to me and not be like, go ask your mama. But a lot of parents aren't like that. And I think that maybe for some people who didn't go through being a child support kid, you may not understand how, like, what the dynamic is between the parent. So again, like you said, daddy probably putting words, or using certain language with her, like, why don't you ask your mama? I just sent $1,900 over there. Baby, I ain't got it. Can you ask your mama? So I just think we have to look at it like in a very like realistic fashion. So because again, I don't think it's a disrespect thing at all. I mean, apparently the girl know how to do algebra at this point, because she didn't put two and
Calculated.
two together and figured out how much is being used for the bills and how much is whatever. And she clearly knows that money that is coming for her is being spent to the benefit of the other children. And I think that is the problem.
Yeah, like why should I have to struggle? I don't want to say struggle, but why should I? All right, well, why
I got sorry
as a kid? Right? Yeah,
Roof over her head. She being fed.
no, but
I'll go.
but what I'm saying is like the thing is, all right, this is real shit. Today, I packed organic.
Let's see. Yo, what up, Marcus Band? How you doing, brother? I'm up late. I was late today, man. I wanted to come on earlier in the middle of the day, and I just could not do it. I just could not do it, man. I could not make it happen. Oh, man, I'm doing good, man. How was your day? It's like the weather was getting warm, and then like all of a sudden it got cold. I can't deal with it. I don't know why I keep changing up like it do. Like hot, cold, hot, cold. And I don't even know what I'm doing up late. Anyway, I gotta help my brother. I gotta help him move. You know how it is. One thing I hate about moving is taking apart beds and putting them back together. That's what irritates me, man. That's the part I hate about moving. Yeah, exactly, right? You said this weather is bipolar. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It was like in the morning, it was like icy cold, and then all of a sudden, midday it got really, it got kind of warmer to me, but it's not like I can understand it gets warmer during the day, but not that drastically, you know. It's crazy. Let me play the rest of this video. I gotta give my conclusion to this. In my opinion, I don't think the child is wrong. I think both of the parents are wrong, and even the father in this situation. And I'll explain why, because as a father, you have to take accountability.
Organic juice boxes in my son's lunch, right? And he already gets lunch, plus I pack him a lunch. So he has options. And I said to him, I'm like, yo, why aren't you drinking your juice box? Like,
Let's see, Marcus, you said I'm so sick of moving. I've lived in 17 states, so I know what you mean. Damn, that is a lot. 17 states. I don't think I've ever heard nobody say that. Wow. 17 states. That's a lot. I think maybe I've only lived in 2 states. Damn. You weren't like a military kid or something.
I spend a lot of money on your juice box. He's like, I don't know, I get shot. I said, if any of them little kids say anything, this is probably more expensive than their juice. You better drink this goddamn juice. Right?
He's shy.
Yeah, because like it's different from the rest of the kids, right? They might have a yoo-hoo, right? But he has organic apple juice, right? So it's
He's over there like,
yeah, but he doesn't understand that. And sometimes like when you have a 16-year-old in high school, take that same principle and multiply it by 2, right? Kids are getting stuff all the time, right? Whether they get it from their mom, their dad, their uncle, grandma, grandparent, whomever. So when you are like, yo, how come, I got these same shoes on since September and it's April and these shoes have ran to the dirt. Yeah, I might have did that, but my dad is paying all the bills. All I asked for one pair of sneakers, and I know that my dad is sending enough money. So now let me watch and see where this money is going. So now I watch and I see you spending it on the other 2, and maybe the other 2 parents don't pay any child support. So now,
Yeah, I don't know. They pushing it and they adding so much to it. The message didn't say that the girl was wearing broke down raggedy shoes. Yo, what's up, Marcus? Oh, you said I was a foster child. Oh, no relative wanted me, so I kept going from state to state. Oh man, yeah, man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Yeah. I actually got my grandma, she kept foster kids, so I got cousins. They not really like my cousins through blood, but like my grandma, I guess she ended up raising them. So because um they were supposed to their moms was supposed to come back and get them because some of their moms had drug problems. Um but that I guess they just never got clean. And so they ended up she ended up keeping them and they ended up just staying at her house and stuff. But yeah, my grandma had foster kids. Uh yeah, it was sad. One of them, I remember they found him. He was actually just living out on the streets. Um, I mean, he was young. Like I think he had to be maybe he was around like 9 or 10, and he was somebody found him eating out a dumpster. You know, and stuff. So yeah, man. Yeah, man. Sorry to hear that. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's one of the things people take for granted. Like I've heard somebody like once I was on Clubhouse somewhere, we was talking about like family and stuff, and somebody's like, "Oh, you don't necessarily need family." And I was like, "Yeah, you do." I was like, people take it for granted because like what you were saying in this situation, this is when you really need like family, like people that really show up and look out. Like if something happened that would take in a child, for whatever happened. It could be for any reason, somebody's parents pass away. It could be anything, That's an important thing about having good family, not just family. When I say family, I mean like people that really take a child in and look out for them, and stuff. That's why I think that's so important. That just reminds me of that conversation because we were talking about like it was like, would you marry somebody who I guess didn't get along with their family and stuff? And I was like, for me personally, I was like, I don't think I would, because I like the support system of having a close knit community, family that's really close, that talk, that respect each other and stuff, because you never know what's going to happen, and you need to be able to call on people to help you and be there for you should something happen. Let's see. Oh, you said, oh, you was 10 as well when your travels got started. Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm pretty sure that's that's a hard, tough road, especially at the age of 10. Yeah. Let's see. I think this video almost over and done.
That's why your money's really tight. So now it's like when my dad's picking up the tab on your other kids, and now I'm the one suffering because you made poor decisions. And that's where it's coming, that the reality is this is the situation that you created. This is the situation that you played a part in. And now I am being things in my life and desire. Yeah, I'm being penalized for it. And now you want me to have, I don't find it as disrespectful, but you want me to have sympathy and be conscious of my word choice when I speak to you about what's happening. It's crazy.
And that's why I want to live with my dad.
And that's why I want to live with him. And
like I said, go.
But there's a reason why she's not letting her go. Because if she like,
I hope that's not the reason.
first of all, let's get out of this mind frame that fathers don't discipline their children and reward them for bad behavior, because I don't think that that's the case here.
It was for me.
We don't know that.
You said what?
I think it was for me.
Like I think, like, because being the parent that disciplines can sometimes push the kid away, right? Because at one point I went to live at my grandma's house because I had a blast in the summer, but I had to realize that's not reality, right? So, and I understand that kids go through that, but when it gets to a point where a kid is fed up with you, it's not because, oh, I have a blast at dad's house. It's because I know you for real. I see right through you, and you can't fool me like you fool the outside world, mom or dad. You know what I'm saying? They do it with their dads too. It's not just one side of the spectrum. The kid sees who the parent truly is. And it's like, all right, you could discipline me. And that's why I said before, telling no with reason. If I just say no just to say no, or I say no because of my poor choice of spending,
Because I said so.
because I said so, like, that doesn't work. Like, and I
The problem with that argument is that it can be reversed. She may know her mom because that's who she stays with, that's who she's with the most. But and you could still turn that argument around and say, well, yeah, you might want to go live with your dad because you're not with him as much as you're with me. And so it's easier to demonize the person whose roof you live under, because, like, for instance, if you're the, not saying that's what the father is because we don't have all the details, but if you're the weekend parent, it's easy to be the fun parent. Of course, you ain't going to discipline that much. You pick them up on the weekend, y'all probably go out to eat, have fun, and that's the easier thing. And like me and my son's mom, it was like that, and I've seen it from both sides. I've seen it from the side where, because we just worked together and went based off of our schedule. So it was times where I was the parent that I had to, because we just did it based off what we needed for him. So maybe I had to work and I would change my schedule around to accommodate her. And so I might be the one getting him on the weekend. So I got to be the fun parent. But then we had times where he would be with me during the week and she would get him on the weekends. And I felt the difference, how it was like, oh man, you get to be the fun parent and I got to be more in the disciplinary because I'm the one that's making sure, hey, you go to bed on time. I'm the one that's making sure you did your homework and stuff. And so that I see what he's saying and I understand completely. But the problem is the argument, it can be reversed. It just can.
that's like this. when parents say no because I said so without supplying reason, to me, that equates to the same thing as a cop saying, get out your car, let me search your car. And you're like, for what? And he said, because I said so. Like everything needs to be supplied with certain reason just for like literally just for the kid or for the person to understand what is going on. What am I doing wrong? How can I do this better? And it's just really a building process. But when you do have that other side of the spectrum, it's just detrimental. Well, I don't know the other parent situation, but if I had to view my own specific situation, it's like $1,900 for a 16-year-old is wild crazy. I think it's too much money. I don't think a 16-year-old requires $1,900 to live. Yeah. But $2,000 a month for a 16-year-old is wild crazy. So now my real thing is, what am I
It's not.
what
You talking about? How
He
about
has a
one thing?
Yeah.
This is for the month. Child support is monthly, right?
Just
Yeah.
just for sports.
So you
alone.
telling me a 16-year-old kid is damn near the average cost of rent a month? That's impossible. It's impossible.
Have you
Does
ever?
that mean you soon find out?
No, but if
Like,
Word.
because if that was the case, there'd be a lot of kids in here that are really doing that bad if they cost that much. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Expensive.
I think that
Really
kids are expensive, but
expensive.
of course, but like you don't have to. Like, for example, a growing kid is way more expensive than a kid that's typically around 16 years old that can, you know what I'm saying, basically fit the same clothes for 3 to 4 months, 5 months out of the year.
you talking clothes when you talking about grown.
Yeah, he don't know what he talking about with that one. And I don't even think he has kids. He said that. No. A growing kid, the clothes are cheaper, the shoes are cheaper. They don't care about name brand, they don't care about style. They're easy. They really, really are. When you start spending money is when they become teenagers. When you start having to pay these what are they in the band? You got to pay for the instrument. If they're playing basketball, if they're playing sports, especially you got a 16-year-old girl, you paying for her if she wants to get her hair done. And I ain't talking about her getting weave or nothing like that. I'm just saying getting her hair done. And you probably do it yourself when you can. But let me tell you, them clothes, that price, it goes up. That food and everything goes up. She's 16. She want to start driving. You got to put her on your car insurance. So yeah, no, he don't know what you're talking about. When they kids, yeah, they're growing out of their clothes, but those clothes is cheap. Like they cheap. Trust me. I got teenagers and I got little kids. Way more money for little kids. I mean, way less money for little kids. It's way more money for teenagers. Hands down. Can't beat it. Teenagers require more. And you got to take into account you getting them a cell phone. Where they got computers, they got tablets. It's just way more that goes into a teenager. They require more. It ain't like having little kid is easy. Little kids ain't bugging. You can put them in whatever. They clothes cheap. Trust me. You can go get like when your kids growing up and they little, man, you get like 5 pair of pants or something for $50. Like, come on, no. Let's see. What'd you say, Marcus? You said kids don't know anything about money until the age of 12 to 13. Now it gets real. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that guy on the show that said that, I don't even think he has kids or something. He said something earlier in the show, like if I had a daughter. I don't know why he said that. Like, I'm like, hold on, when you got little kids, it really ain't expensive. Cause you can dictate to them what they wear and how they move. It's just easier. It's just more difficult when you get to a teenager. Let's see. Shout out. What's up, S. Johnson, man? How you doing? He says, my brother, parents should save money when the kids are young because they cost so much later. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for saying that. The guy on this show was saying how it's kids are more expensive when they're little, but it gets cheaper when they're teenagers. And I'm like, no, it don't. And then you start preparing for to help them get a car. You start preparing for them, if they're gonna go to college or a trade school or something. It'd be so much stuff they be doing as teenagers. They bug you every weekend. I want to go here. I want to go there. I want this. I want that. It ain't like that. With little kids. It just ain't. Especially like if you got a son, man, and them feet grow and you can't shop on the other side no more. When they size move from the cheap side of the shoe store to the expensive side of the shoe store, nah. Yep, shout out Marcus Banks. He says, I agree, S. Johnson. Yep. And that's another point that S. Johnson, like what you said too. That's another thing I brought up like earlier in the videos too. It would be nice that if somebody's getting child support, that they would at least set aside some, like the lady in this story is getting $1,900 a month. I mean, at least take $200 of that and put that in the savings account for the child.
Growing kids.
What other
When
thing?
you get
Okay.
to high school, you know how much stuff there is to pay for in high school?
Okay, so but let's go through it. Let's go through it together then. How much do you think it costs to keep a 16-year-old kid from
Car note,
six?
insurance,
All right, and
their cell phone.
let's say over here, you can't drive at 16.
You can't.
No, you get your license at 17.
They're still the
So you
same.
get-
Actually, it depends on what state that you live in. In Tennessee, it will blow your mind when you see this. You like, especially if they look super duper young. You're like, what the hell is a 12-year-old driving the car for? But yeah, 16 there, they got a license already. They can drive around without an adult in the car, all of that, age 16. So it really just depends on where you live in. So he's just saying he's wrong again with that one. Shout out Marcus Banks says facts risky. When my kids turned teenagers, I started to lose my hair and I never recovered from it. Hey, same here, brother. Same here. Ain't nothing up under there, man. Ain't nothing under there. I never recovered either. And I tried to grow my hair back out one time and it just didn't happen. I'm telling you. Shout out S. Johnson says at Marcus Banks, your kids will have your back when you get older. So worth it, my brother. Be good to them now. They will be good to you later. Definitely agree. Exactly. Yep. And you know what you realize that like my son, like the older he got, he'll like call me now and say, oh, hey dad, man, I just called to check on you, see how your day was going and stuff like that, so he is correct. Once you build that relationship, they definitely will take care of you.
Your permit.
No, your permit you don't pay insurance on, and you can't get a car.
If I have a car that you're driving, I have to add you to my car insurance. My insurance will go high.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you wouldn't do that because a 16-year-old cannot drive without you legally being in the car, and parents don't be driving in the car with their kids.
Yes, they do.
Pivot. If this scenario is in like real time, like
What is he talking about? If even if they're in the car with you while you're driving it, if they are behind the wheel of that car, they have to be on the insurance. Because they still could make a mistake and get in an accident, and the police are going to write down who was driving the car at the time, even if the parent was in the car. Why is he saying that? You do have to put them on your insurance.
recent, we know the economy. $750 to $1,000 for a 16-year-old monthly. I don't know. That's just wild to me. That's too low.
You think it's a lot?
Oh no,
No,
that's too low.
yeah, I don't. You're way off.
Y'all buying y'all kids Gucci?
It doesn't even
Why
have to
can't
do anything
why
like
can't
that.
it be in shoes?
You said you bought your kids some Jordans.
Relax. That was $75.
I was about to say he did pay $75.
Think about how much it costs to feed a 16-year-old a day.
Oh, you
Right.
ain't lying, especially a
Just
60-year-old
that.
boy.
What do you mean?
And if you're calculating,
What's at home?
no, but if you're calculating a whole month,
What's at home?
like there might be 1 week during the month that you're buying a lot for this. Like that probably is a whole $750 right there in 1 week.
Yo, when I was 6 years old, at 2:30 we got out of school, right? I had football practice and film till 7:30. So when I got home, it was 8 o'clock. I had one meal, took a shower, and by that time I was going to sleep. That was what
Buy nothing to eat after school at 2:30.
Yeah,
I mean-
meal.
You didn't eat in the morning?
no, I mean I had like maybe my breakfast, like you know what I'm saying? But
All right, I gotta call him out. He lying. I got boys. Do you know how much boys eat? Everybody that has a teenage son complains about how much they consume. Oh my God. Teenage boys, like, it's when you gonna stop eating. It's what time? It's late as hell in the night. You know who just came downstairs and went in the kitchen? My teenage son. They never stop eating. He lying. The only way that happened and what he's saying is true is his mama didn't put no food in the fridge. Teenage boy ain't just eating twice a day. That's unusual. If it does happen. Especially if they playing sports, man. Like, come on. No.
I might have my
That you had to pay for.
no breakfast. I would have like a bagel at the school was like $1.50.
It's $1.50.
Okay, you could add $1.50. Let's do it. That's
$75.
$25 a month. Okay, right?
At lunch. You never ate lunch?
No, I had lunch, right?
You had dinner?
Jersey have free? It's
Huh?
free. I have free meals.
Yeah.
No.
It is.
Well, no, I have reduced lunch. First of all,
I'm about to say, do y'all know what free is?
yeah, free lunch. I have reduced lunch.
I'm like,
So,
was that in New York too?
My lunch was like 50 cents, and I just get whatever. And plus, I was cool with the lunch ladies. Would hook me up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a couple cookies. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, even if you did add that, right? You're still not spending more than like I would say $400 to $500 max a month on food.
Are you doing the total by 7 days or 5 days? What's going on?
I'm going by 7. Because you gotta think about it. Kids go to their friend's house. Kids be outside. Kids are like, I mean, nowadays it's different because majority of kids are sitting in school. I mean, sitting at home after school. Even when I wasn't in school, I wasn't at home. I was somewhere roaming around playing basketball or in the park for hours or sneaking in the girls' crib. Well, I didn't have Uber back then.
We didn't have that.
I was at 16. Yeah, at 16, I remember I said,
But my
cool
little
for a bite.
cousins, they love a Uber Eats. First of all, they won't even ask if anybody's cooking in the house. Uber Eats.
Damn, I didn't bro.
They got money. Oh,
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So, like, bro, your 16-year-old is working.
Oh my God. I don't know what he was talking about at the end. I was with him up until that point, but nah, teenagers cost money. And yeah. I see what he's saying, but I don't really agree with him. Let's see. Shout out to Marcus Banks. He says, when I look back now, I never realized how much I ate. That's why I have bad eating habits now because of my teenage years. Exactly. That's what I said. I don't know what he was saying. Most people complain about how much they teenage boys eat. Like teenage boys would they'll tear your fridge and cabinet up. Shout out to Game Prophet says, so he knew she had kids before he wifed her. That's the thing. The mother is the one that sent the message in and didn't really include the order. All we know is that there's a daughter that's 16. The way it sounds is that the father, got with this woman, had a baby with her. His child support is $1,900 a month, and it seems like she had other kids after him. But she didn't state whether those other kids' fathers or father pays child support. But it seems like because if the girl's 16 and the young lady sent a text message to her mom. Matter of fact, let me play it one more time. What the daughter texts the mom.
Entitled to my child support I get from her father. How would you handle this?
All right.
So shout out 97.9 about. It says my 16-year-old daughter feels entitled to my child support I get from her father. How would you handle this? I also think her father is putting things in her head. Either way, the money he sends is for me to care for her, and she doesn't grasp paying my bills, which also benefits her siblings, is part of this. And so I guess this is her like, hey, give me some advice, intro to the radio station. And this is the text that the daughter wrote to her mom. What?
This is funny.
Oh. My dad told me how much he pays you in child support, and he showed me. I just don't understand how my dad pays $1,900 in child support. When I ask for something, you say no. Also, you use the money my dad sends to take care of me to spend on Aaron and Jess, who I assume are her other siblings. And likely they don't share the same dad. That's just my assumption. When I ask for something, it's always a problem, and you threaten to take my phone away when I do anything you don't like. If it wasn't for me being here and my dad paying you, if it wasn't for me being here, she misses some words, and my dad paying, you couldn't afford to keep the house. I do love you, but I feel like you take advantage of having me here. I rather live with my dad, and I just want you to know for it to happen without making a big issue. I don't think it's right. I don't benefit from my dad's child support, yet you spend it. It appears that there's more to this, but I don't know what it is.
That's exactly, God forbid, that's how my daughter.
So that's what the daughters said to her. She sent that text message to her mom. Pretty bold. Called her mom out. Shout out, as Johnson says at Marcus Banks. I was just thinking the same thing, going down to the fridge at like 3 a.m. and crushing whatever was in there every day. So you had a daughter call her mom out saying she doesn't appreciate the way her mom's spending the child support. She says she doesn't benefit from it. She does benefit from it. The issue here is with the parents. And unfortunately, and this is the sad part, and I don't even know what you could do about this, right? Is that as a man, if you have a child with a woman and that woman puts you on child support, there's the possibility that she has other kids by somebody else. And regardless if she gets married to that guy or however that goes, your money is still going in that household. That's crazy. And that's something to think about when you're sleeping around with people. Because nobody's policing her. It's you think that when that money goes into the household pot that she's going to separate it, and no, it'd be nice if she did, but I don't believe they do that. And I don't think it's going to happen. I think another part of this that's an issue is I think that these obviously are two parents that are not co-parenting very well together. And I hope that they would sit down with their daughter, because it's definitely time to have a conversation, because this 16-year-old is asking for answers. In 2 years, she'd be an adult, and she's at that age where she's going to start asking questions, and the whole no or do what I say because I said so, it stops working at a certain age. It just does. Let's see. Let me go to my notes. Okay. So in conclusion, I said, well, ultimately, let me see. Let's see. Okay, so here we explore the broader issues surrounding communication, financial transparency, and the feelings of resentment that can develop in parent-child relationships. This discussion that we had tonight and watching this video emphasizes the need for a balanced understanding of financial obligations and the importance of effective communication between parents and children. In situations where parents are not together and the father is paying child support, fostering healthy communication with teenagers is crucial, especially when questions about financial matters arise. It's important for both parents to approach the conversation with transparency and empathy. The mother should explain how child support contributes to the overall household expenses, benefiting the child indirectly by maintaining a stable environment. She can clarify that while child support is intended to assist with the child's needs, resources are often pulled to support the entire family unit, including other children. The father should encourage open dialogue, reassuring the child of his commitment to their well being, and both parents should emphasize understanding and trust. Key points include maintaining transparency, promoting empathy, clarifying financial allocations, and encouraging open dialogue. And I know it might be some parents that shy away from this, but let's be honest here at the end of the day. This daughter told her mom that she'd rather go live with her dad. And I would think that any parent that care about their child, that's a hurtful thing to hear. I, for me, I know it would be. Now if it got to be too much and that's really what made them happy, I would honor that if it became more healthy, but I definitely wouldn't say whatever. So what? Pack your bags, you know. And so I would hope the mom would go have a conversation with her daughter, even if they want to go to some type of therapy and just sit down as a family if that mother and that father not on good enough terms to facilitate it themselves. Key points here. Number one is transparency. These are the key points to take away from this. Number one is transparency about financial contributions and allocations. Number two is empathy towards the child's concerns and feelings. Number three is clarification of how pooled resources benefit the entire household. Number four, encouragement of open dialogue and trust building. Number five, reassurance of both parents' commitment to the child's well-being. And that's the whole point of having healthy co-parenting, right? So you don't have this child stuck in the middle and you don't have a father, which I can understand where the father coming from because I've been in that position, but you don't have a father that's just showing the daughter, look, I sent your mama 1900, go get the money from her. I think that's an unhealthy approach versus, hey, we need to all sit down and talk and come up with a solution, because whatever they're doing is causing this daughter to now she like step into a mom, and it could just be what her mom's doing. Maybe her mom's totally irresponsible, but they didn't give enough information. So I'm just going in general on this, to be honest with you. Now, this is what I'm about to say, and it might be the unpopular opinion, but this is to the fathers, and I titled it accountability. Accountability. Now, this is why I advocate for staying with your child's mom no matter what. I know some people are like, whatever, what if she crazy? Like I said, this is why I advocate for staying with your child's mom no matter what. A father who pays child support must acknowledge that when his child lives in a household with other children, the financial resources are often shared to support the entire family unit. This is a natural consequence of having children outside of his household. While it can be challenging to see child support indirectly benefit others, it's important to understand that these contributions help create a stable and nurturing environment for his child. One of the advantages of having a child within his own household is the ability to directly manage and allocate financial resources. In separate households, however, he must relinquish some control and trust that the funds are being used to ensure the well being of his child in a holistic sense. Taking accountability for this reality means recognizing the broader role these payments play in supporting his child's overall living environment. And that's why I mean it's getting to the point, especially with this child support system and the cost of living going up. Honestly, as a guy, that's just something you're gonna have to think about because they ain't gonna police her. They not. Nobody's gonna police her. She gonna be able to always use that money the way she want to. To the mother. A mother receiving child, and this is just something I wrote up for the mom. A mother receiving child support should prioritize clear communication with her child about how the funds are utilized within the household. It's essential to explain that while the support is specifically intended for one child, it often contributes to shared expenses that benefit the entire family, such as housing, utilities, and groceries, which help maintain a stable environment. To ensure the child understands and feels valued, the mother should outline a financial plan that includes setting aside a portion of the support specifically for the child's individual needs or future expenses, such as education or savings. This approach not only fosters transparency and trust, but also demonstrates responsible financial management, emphasizing that the support is a direct result of the child's presence and is being used thoughtfully to enhance their well-being. Yeah. And those are my thoughts. And I think that's the best healthy way to do it, right? Because if you put money into a pot, taking care of a household, we know it's going to indirectly affect everyone. You know what horrifies me though about this? It ain't really even the kids, right? Because I can understand that you got other little kids in the house feeding them. You know what's the worst thought to think about when it comes to this? What if she gets married to another man, or she just got like a boyfriend that lives in the house? And can you imagine your child support money that buys groceries, another man eating off of your money? I'm just saying, it's something to think about. I'm telling you, it's something to think about because they're not going to police her. They're not. And that's the messed up part when it comes to child support. That right there. This guy, he's getting off with, yeah, the other kids are eating, to little kids, whatever, right? But what if this was another grown man she got living in the house that's eating off of your child support money? Or what if she go buy her boyfriend some shoes? That's to me more horrifying. The kids, I can get over that. I got a heart for the kids. I don't mind you got your two little ones some Happy Meal off of my money, man. But oh my God, can you imagine like another dude, like another grown man eating off of your child support money? To me, that's unbearable to think about. I'm telling you, better think about it. Yo, what's up, TCR? He says, stop having sex, get a sex doll. Man, they got them new AI ones. Everybody said they're gonna I don't know. For some guys, I guess they would use them to replace women, man. And I know over time technology is only going to get better and better and better. But I don't know. Could you get attached? Would it feel weird? I don't know. I don't think I could personally get into that. I think how do you get into this? It's gotta be different for being with a person. I don't know. I don't think the AI and all that is there yet. Let's see. TCRA says, why have kids if you have no money? It's a lack of self-control. Yep. Yep. That's the only and that's the only other thing. I think that do be the problem sometimes. Like, because if you have a person that is getting child support, um, it's worse when that parent just takes advantage of the child support. At least work that way. The child support is an actual bonus to you versus you having to um use up the money. You know what I mean? Because that's why I was saying, like, what I just in my notes, what I wrote down is I was like, it would be nice if because I wonder how many people who've had, like, they did bring it up on the show, like, out of all the people whose parent paid child support when they turned 18, how many of them, their mom came to them and said, surprise, here's a savings account. Your dad was paying child support, and I set aside this amount just for you. So even if it's just enough to buy them their first car, right? But that, I guess that depends on what kind of mom they had, right? Because most time the woman getting child support, right? So was she working? Because whether you have children or not, you got to pay rent, you got to pay for water and electric. So at least you're working to cover for yourself. So when you get that child support, you don't have to necessarily use it all up. You can set aside some for your child. And I think if that mom was doing that and having those conversations with her daughter wouldn't be acting the way that she's acting and sending her text messages like that. Let's see. Marcus Banks says, and I see your correction that you made up under that. You said a judge will make you pay for her other kids if you are the only responsible male adult. This is something that is not talked about enough. So co-parenting is very important. Oh man, hell no. Really? It don't surprise me, man. I seen this guy. This is Marcus Banks. I didn't know that that would be taken into consideration, but it doesn't surprise me. I saw a story. This guy, he was paying child support, right? And he had a DNA test done and found out that he wasn't the biological father, but he had already signed the birth certificate, and so the judge still ruled that he must continue to pay child support. And I said, how is that allowed? Like how? Like if you prove like, hey, I was misled, this person lied to me, why would you require that's just crazy to me. Like I don't get that. I just think that I just think that's so unfair. I just think that's ridiculous. I don't understand why that's why as a guy you gotta be careful for sure out here. Let's see. TCRA says have stable married families and this won't happen. Exactly. I agree. And that's why I wrote the part about men and accountability, because unfortunately once you put um once you put your powers in the hand of somebody else, it ain't no telling what they'll do. And this person could be an abuser, and that could be like the child support system, which in a lot of cases is an abusive um system. And even here, you have no control. Once that money leaves out of your household and goes into that other person's household, it's on it's on them. Nobody's policing her. Like I just said, she could have her boyfriend up in there eating groceries off your dime. Nothing you could do about it. you're stuck. You're screwed. Yeah. Marcus Banks says exactly what I'm talking about, Risky. Yep. Mm-mm-mm. Yo, what's up, man? We got the Prince of Petty in the building. What's up, man? What you doing up? As he said, and that's why child support should be abolished, and there should be DNA tests before the woman leave that hospital with the child. Yep, it should be, man. I think it's criminal. You know that they do have in some cases where, like, if you sign a contract under duress or the false pretenses, stuff, like you can get out of it. I don't understand why. Just because if somebody lied to you, you were responsible. You signed the birth certificate, and then okay, and then you tell the judge, "Hey, look, something's wrong. I went and got this piece of paper, and it say here, not the father. This person lied to me and tricked me." Well, but we need somebody to pay child support, so we just gonna keep you on it. That's fucked up. Boom. Shout out Marcus Banks says, I totally agree with you, the Prince of Petty. Prince of Petty says, I've been here for like an hour, just silent. I'm programmed to be up for some reason. Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't know you was here, man. You know what I think though? At the very least, when it comes to child support, I think that when they come up with the total amount, right? So say they say it's going to be $800 a month, right? I think like they say, okay, your child support is $800 a month. I I think for me, I would feel better if like right when the woman get happy, she's like, yeah, I'm getting $800 a month or whatever. You know, even though in today's economy, $800 a month ain't a lot, but well, you know what? People say that, but if I said I was gonna give you $800 extra on your check, you wouldn't turn it down, would you? No, you would not, right? But so she's excited. She's like, oh man, I'm gonna get $800 a month, and then they say, well, we agree his child support is $800 a month, but you only get um like 600 or maybe 550 because that rest of that goes into a bank account or some account set up for that child, so to make sure she just can't blow through all the child support, that child has something for them by the time they reach 18. And that at the least, that's what they could do. It would make me feel better. Let's see. Shout out Prince of Petty says, that's why I don't blame man when they crash out sometimes. Playing with a man's seed and finances could get you out. Yeah. Prince of Petty says, your idea is how it should be, making an account for the child. Yeah, it should be. That'd be like the saddest thing in the world. Like when you really let me see. Like when you really calculate things, let me just add that up for shits and giggles. Let's see. Let's see. 4 times 0. In 17 years, if that father, like I just would say he started paying child support when she was 1 year old. And in 17 years, that's $387,000. And that child ain't gonna have a lick of that in their bank account. A lick of it. And let's see. Right. And if she set aside $200 for her out of that, she could or like 250, she could at least save up what, $40,000. That's a nice little, that's a nice little nest egg, right? $40,000. Hey, this is from your father's child support. I set aside $200 for, and that's just $200 a month out of $1,900. That ain't too much to ask. That child, when she turned 18, can have a bank account with $40,000 sitting in it. And that's nice because they did a study. They said majority of Americans don't even have money in the bank account for emergency funds. And you could have at least that. Come on. I think that's a good idea. Let's see. Oh, Prince of Petty says, like Nas X, she's dumb as a box of rocks. No reason she should be broke. Oh, Khalees broke. I haven't really heard from her. Last time I seen her, she was living off the land, talking to herself, growing things, eating fruit out of trees. I don't know. Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's just because they don't say, but you know what? I think the real test when it comes to this situation is going to be like hold on. Oh, not her, his first baby mama. Oh, okay. I forgot. Okay, he did have somebody for her. My bad. But Khaleesi is living off the land. So I thought that's what you were talking about. I said, well, maybe that's why she's living off the land and stuff. Every time I see her, she living off the land. But I think the real test is because for this woman who's getting $1,900 a month, the daughter's 16. The real test is going to be, what is her life going to look like? Because them checks about to stop. That's going to be the real question. What is her life going to look like when them checks is gone? I doubt it looked the same. Let's see. What time is it? 3:49. I'm trying to see. What am I going to do? Am I going to end this? Let's say Prince Pay. You say what? Oh, $1,900 a month. Her dad makes six figures or damn near. She may be better off with him anyway. Oh yeah, she might. Yeah, she might. But at 16, I think she can request and ask that though. At that age. Yeah, I think she can, but or maybe that's state to state. You know, um, I also know that sometimes what them teenagers do is they'll take extra classes and go ahead and just graduate early, and I guess they can like emancipate themselves and stuff. That could be something else that she could do. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Okay, Prince of Petty says most states, a child can request either parent at like 10 to 13. Okay, so earlier than 16. Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. All right, y'all. Well, I'm about to head out. I think I'm gonna take me a little nap. Prince, shout out Prince, Petty, Marcus Banks, and I know S. Johnson came through, TCRA, and the game Profit. Shout out to all y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm about to end this. I think I'm gonna take a nap. Marcus, Marcus and Prince, man. I can't make no promises. I do know I gotta make my brother help my brother move. But if I can bring another one on, I guess a little bit later, I'm gonna try to do that. I did want to go over some news articles, um, just some recent stuff. Um, I've been seeing some crazy stuff. I saw a news report that said a woman, I think it was the stepmom, kept the son locked in a room for 20 years, and he set a fire, and that's how they finally found him. It's just been some insane stuff going on. Just insane, crazy shit. All right, shout out to you too, Mr. Marcus Banks. You said, take care. Take care and be safe. Much respect to you always, my brother. Same to you, man. You know I appreciate you. Thank you always. Prince says, speaking of news, I got a new video on the channel. Sad, sad, sad. Okay, man, I gotta go check that out. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. Let's see. All right, man. I'm about to get some rest, and I'm doing too many things. Like right now on my phone, I got a room running on Clubhouse. I had invited you to that earlier, Prince, but I don't even think you was over there on the app at the time when I sent it to you. And I ain't even saying nothing. I'm just basically sitting in the room. So anywho, this is the let's see. You said, oh man, I was probably Z'd out. Yeah, I understand, man. Oh yeah, I understand. Yeah. But yeah, I'm catch you later. I definitely go over to your channel, check out that news story. So that way I know, like, if you bring it up to me and talk to me about it, I'll know about it. And everything. So anyway, appreciate everybody coming through. If you're watching the video right now, much appreciate if you much appreciate you chilling with me, hanging out with me. If you can, just thumbs up the video, put me in the algorithm, be most appreciated. As for anybody watching right now or watching it on the replay, this is risky behavior. My name is Diabolical. I got my main guys in the chat, Mr. Marcus Banks and the Prince of Petty himself. Appreciate you hanging out with us. I will catch y'all later. Of course, Saturday is where we basically go over news topics and talk crap about people. I'm just playing. Well, we do talk crap, so I'm not playing. But anyway, I'm gonna catch y'all later. Peace.
Risky behavior.